Hi, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the day as much as I am. Some really great conversation and information. And I'm going to take a little time right now to kind of carry that theme forward of thinking about growth and the new opportunities in the commercial vehicle industry with a focus on how to help. So, just as a kind of level set, for those of you, I'm not sure if you knew, and we've mentioned it maybe a couple of times, but today in the US, 80% of our GDP is powered by commercial vehicles. And because of that, and as I mentioned earlier today, we saw it's very recession proof. And the growth rate projected for this space is not humongous, but it's very steady and good. And so that's because commercial buyers need vehicles, right? This isn't a choice. And of course, it's because for the dealerships, there's a higher gross on sales and service for their relationship that they build with their businesses. And people are 5 times more loyal if they have a business relationship with a dealership or with those folks that are, as was recommended in previous sessions, are helping them go through transition and changes, then that's great. Now, why commercial now? Especially now because there are expanded growth opportunities. There's OEMs have identified ways to serve and be consultative for small and medium and large fleets, which includes helping them with managing their vehicles, telematics, service and maintenance, even things around charging and gas cards, new financing and leasing plans. We heard about some of those. So it makes it more complicated, but it certainly makes the TAM, if you will, the total available market for those that are engaged in this to help and grow. So the challenges are, though, and we've heard this already, that the industry is not very educated on commercial opportunities. There's today, even though we're starting to come back into market with a lot of inventory, it's kind of an uneven inventory distribution. And of course, how do you become more consultative if you're a smaller company or if you're a dealership, or how do each of us become more consultative in our approach? Technology is available to help. I'm going to talk a little bit about a few different technologies and platforms, and then also talk a little bit about some individual help that's recently been brought into the commercial space. So let's start with something that's going to be launched on Convoy. And if those of you, I think, that attend typically have know a little bit about Convoy, it's the national marketplace for commercial. It's the largest selection for ready to roll. It has the full specifications for the vehicle. We were talking earlier when Jim and Mondar were talking about having to keep track of everything that's be coming out, because even though there's going to be some standardization, people are still going to expect that the use case that that vehicle meets is highly specific, right? And so I'm proud to announce that in November of this year, we are going to be launching a community on Convoy. That is in conjunction with Escalante. You heard maybe Dania mention earlier the Fleet Advisory Hub. That's been around for a while. It's to obtain insights from the industry to help all the key stakeholders. And what's really exciting to me is that this new collaboration, this new partnership, as we've been talking about, is really to broaden that scope. They've been very focused and good on hearing about fleet managers and the fleet environment. This expands that to all of the ecosystem that supports that space. So I'm very excited about that. And oops. And then I also wanted to talk briefly about some upcoming opportunities. Back in 2021, after we saw the inventory problems that were as a result of the pandemic and inventory started dropping, we as a company made a commitment to build what we call vehicle acquisition search tool. And vehicle acquisition search tool is a way for the dealers, it's a private channel for dealers to be able to have a one-stop shop to locate and source inventory. It was very important to help them serve their individual customers who needed to keep on the road. It uses technology. It keeps the accuracy of what inventory is out there updated, and we made it dynamic so that they could search in one place for the types of vehicles that their customers need. And so today it's being used by about 1,300 dealerships. And what we're looking at now is taking the foundation of what we've built here and looking at expanding back to helping dealers right place inventory through trade and through partnerships that they may want to establish with each other. So they're not going to go into all of the great ways that you can build a map and have partners and do all sorts of things. But I thought it was really relevant to what we've been talking about today, on how to look at things differently, look at ways to partner, look at ways to using technology to make our lives better, but for the purpose of helping the final user. And so this is, I just pulled this last night. This is are the current inventory sources. As you can see here, we have, something above 130,000 vehicles that are available in different categories, whether you're looking to buy something that's remarketed on an auction, or whether you're looking at talking to a dealer about moving something that you need to your lot. It's all about building that partnership. So I would invite anyone from any part of the ecosystem that has a need to remarket or to find vehicles to reach out and talk with us, because we're committing to growing vast, moving into the end and the beginning of next year. All right. Well, looks like I moved a little more quickly than I had predicted. So the great news is that I get to introduce Alicia early. In addition to technology, there are things that need to be done from a human perspective. And for example, Work Truck Solutions, I would say, is 50% technology and 50% handholding, because the whole process is about helping humans and helping understand how to be consultative. And so I was thrilled when a number of months ago, and I'm go ahead and I see you now, Alicia, you're there, right?
I'm here. Thanks, Kathryn. I appreciate
Great.
it. I'm so honored to be here. Can you hear me okay?
I can. And I was so excited when you and Mike reached out a number of months ago and said that you'd seen us presenting at a truck club meeting, one of our fantastic team members, Brian, and felt that the work that you'd invested in and that you'd done over the previous 14 months or so of learning about how to help the commercial departments of dealerships, how you have taken all of those decades and decades of experience that Maritz has to help the space. So I'm really excited to have you walk our viewers through what it is.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm equally excited to be here, equally excited to be a part of this. Like Kathryn said, this partnership between us at Maritz and Work Truck Solutions is fairly new, but the work that we've been doing is not new, right? When I say that, what do I mean? Well, what are our overall goals when we talk about growth and trying to find new opportunities? Like that's obviously our everyday goals in the fleet and commercial department, right? We want to sell more vehicles. We want to earn more business. We want to drive more growth and sales. But I once had a manager tell me, like, hope is not a good plan. We must have a plan for that. And that's what this commercial coaching program is really designed to do. It's to help the dealerships really plan out for success and make sure they have a process for that. And we'll go through some of the things that we use in order to walk the dealers through that. Next slide.
Yep.
Maybe next. There we go. So, what is sales coaching? You guys might be asking. It's one-on-one virtual personalized coaching with a dedicated partner, someone like myself. You can see on the sidebar there that training topics are extremely insightful and developed from your store's data, from the way you guys currently behaved, from your current customer base, from your current lead sources. It's all about optimizing the way you currently run, and again, just making sure that everybody is working at optimal performance, and the process is what it what we expect, right? We're getting what we expect that we should get. So the way we do these is, like again, someone like myself records pre-recorded training videos again, and this is the videos are made out of your your data that you guys are already using, your systems, your tools to say, hey, this is what's working really well. This maybe is not working so well, and we need to do A, B, and C things to improve upon our processes. We do that between a series of tools and assets. I'm going to walk you through a couple of those today. And of course, monthly executive reviews, face-to-face meetings with the entire team just to make sure that everybody continues to progress on a regular basis. So if you go to the next slide, Kathryn. So one of the tools that the Work Truck Solutions team and Maritz together created is something we like to call this navigator, which is a deep, in-depth evaluation of your store's current processes and what maybe we want them to be. And you can see a couple of snippets of them on the slide here in front of you. And it really boils it down to, as a store, you guys have 4 categories of customers. You've got new leads that have never bought from you before that need a vehicle right now. You've got new leads that never bought from you before that need a vehicle sometime in the future. Maybe we're getting bids for, whatever have you be. You've got your repeat and return buyers that need a vehicle right now that are pretty high demand and want what they want and want it right now. And then you've got your repeat return buyers that we hope will come back to us over and over again. Again, hope is not a plan. So if you go to the next slide, Kathryn, what this navigator does is it walks your store through every step of the process that it takes from getting those eyeballs, getting that click. Do you have a dedicated commercial vehicle page on your website? What does that look like? Is it easy to get to? Is it easy to navigate? From getting the eyeballs to getting the eyeballs to click to getting connected with someone at the store, nurturing that relationship, selling the customer, and then selling them again and again and again. So you can just see just a few of the things of the categories that the navigator goes through. And actually, if you click to the next slide, Kathryn, it'll take you even more in depth. So as you can see, these are just a couple of the categories. These are, it's think of it as a scorecard, if you will, for if you had a magic wand at the dealership and everything would just go right 100% of the times, you would have a process and a plan for everything that you see on this screen. Again, from gaining new eyeballs, do you have a dedicated commercial page on your dealership site, and what does that look like? All the way to, are we actively planning out face-to-face touch points with our sold customers? Are we actively future planning for them? And I know some of our business customers don't always like to do that. I don't know how many vehicles I'm going to need in 2 or 3 or 5 years down the road, but it's up to us if we want to grow. It's up to us as the dealership employees, right, to be in that consultative role and to help them really say, hey, we really need to plan for this. We really need to sit down and have a plan for this. So again, and it's everything in between, right? It's everything in between, which takes quite a bit to work with. But this is what makes this program work really, really well, because a lot of these things are things that we wouldn't even think that we need to train our fleet and commercial store on: lead distribution and lead response and follow up and when to follow up and how do I gather my prospects and where do I put them so I don't forget about them. That's not a Rolodex on our desk or sticky notes or in a notebook that I keep in a drawer somewhere, right? That's not a very good plan. And I'm sure some folks on the phone might be doing that as we currently speak. So if you go to the next slide, Kathryn. Outside our navigator, we also do assessments. Assessments are to benchmark and check. So if you forward through a couple of slides, you can see our assessments also monitor and measure everything from click to customer, your website evaluation, your marketing, your responses, search, how you rank compared to your competitors and your peers in your area. If you could go to the next slide. So again, these are a few of the things that our assessment measures. So social marketing, are you using LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube? We are a social society. Every single person's got a smartphone in their pocket. I would guarantee it. And almost all of us have some sort of social app on there. That is our new, wave of marketing. That is how people connect to each other. That is how people get reviews. That is how people hear about, hey, you should do business with this company and maybe not with this company. It is so important that as a fleet and commercial department and as fleet and commercial folks, we have a presence, right? And we have a good presence, right? So are we using LinkedIn to our benefit? Are we using that as a networking platform? Are we using Facebook to promote the inventory that we have, or community events, or things such as that matter, new units or whatever have we be? Are we leveraging our social media presence? Our websites, do we have those key terms and key clickables that we want present on our websites? Do we have correct pricing on our websites? Do we have a truck listed that maybe has an upfit that maybe isn't included in the price? So when our customer clicks on it and then they're really upset that it's not what it is, right? Little things like that. Does everything work on your website? Does it appear the way you want it to appear? And is it easy to maneuver? Is it easy to navigate? Of course, marketing, your search score, your Google My Business, all of that is critical for it to match what you're advertising on your website, for you to get ranked and listed. And then, of course, your lead response. Fleet and commercial business owners do shop for vehicles online. I know, that shouldn't be a shocker or a surprise to folks, but they do shop for vehicles online. They do submit leads. And when we get them, in my experience, we're not always the best at handling those. Can you call me? But the good news is with commercial sales coaching. Oh, you can go to that next slide, Kathryn.
Well, actually, before I did, I wanted to make a comment, which is everything that you're talking about, Alicia, is true for any business. And I know that the service focuses on helping dealerships be better for their customers. But as you're going through all of this, I'm just saying, yeah, I hope everybody's paying attention to this, because this is like no-brainer stuff in being current, in being, in being modern, period, right?
Yeah, it is. And it's just so, it's so easy to forget to do the little things correctly that all of a sudden it's a slippery slope. And, now no one has a process.
And if you can't
But
measure it, you can't get better.
right. And if you don't know where you are, like
Right.
how many fleet and commercial leads do you close? I don't know.
Right.
You run a sales report. Is that good? Is that bad?
Mhm.
What was my total opportunity compared to how many fleet and commercial leads do I close? I don't know what my total opportunity is because I'm not really good at measuring it. So I know
Yeah.
we're a little pressed for time, guys,
Yep.
but I wanted to give a shout out to my friends over there at Paradise Chevrolet Cadillac. AJ and his team there. I've been working with them for a couple of months. We have made, call him and ask him. We have made tremendous progress with that store. And that's a store that was already good. It's not like they had it's not like they
Good
had
point.
a
It's not
run of bad.
about fixing the bad stuff. It's about getting better and growing. And I just wanted to make sure that we have a few seconds on this, because recently we published our chapter 6 on the commercial playbook, which is out there to help anybody in the industry. So please grab this. Excuse me. And
Yeah.
then
And I know that was quick too, Kathryn. So obviously she's going to put my email address here on the slide. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ping me.
and LinkedIn me if you have any extra things that you want to do. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.